Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Galaxy Podcast. This is episode 9 of the podcast, and I'm glad to be doing it. The podcast is going great, having a lot of good guests. Today, we are joined with the Gaming Chef. How are you today?
Yo, what is cooking, everyone? The gaming chef here. Yo, BlueStar, thanks for inviting me out to the podcast. I've checked out some previous episodes. Definitely a good podcast that you got starting out here. Super excited for how far this is going to go and wanted to help you out by getting on here and getting the voice out. Black Ops 6 just came out, so let's have a chat, man. What we got today?
I appreciate you coming on, man, but uh, I have a lot to talk about. Considering you are a caster for Call of Duty, have you t- took a look at Black Ops 6 at all yet?
Yeah, so I have played just about every day now since it came out. No casting yet. A lot of the teams haven't started up. They're just doing eights and private matches and stuff. No casting for me just yet. I want to get firsthand experience because one thing that some casters do is they'll like play Valorant all day and then they'll cast, whatever Counter Strike, and they don't really know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they can usually get through it and they're still entertaining, but you can tell when that authenticity isn't there. And I want to build that first, build the trust, and actually have a firsthand experience so I can talk and know what I'm saying first. So that's where I'm at right now.
I can completely understand that because I feel like a lot of casters they just aren't really professional, and like I tried casting once just because I was a league owner at one point,
Hmm.
and I needed casters at short notice, so I started casting for fun, and you could just tell I wasn't as good as other casters such as you or Graf or any of the other casters because you guys were the top two casters that I knew when I was owning a league, and apparently there's new ones now. I have no clue who they are, but uh, there's just a lot more goes into casting than I actually thought because you gotta have the energy, you gotta know the stats more, you gotta be more engaged into the maps, and you just gotta know a lot of the rotations too because you know more about the game and it makes it better for you going into the casting match too.
Yeah, and doubling up on that, not just casting, as a player, especially professional player, you learn way more by not playing after a certain point and watching because you can't learn what you don't know if you don't know it. If you're watching other people play and the casting view, you see everyone's positions, where they're facing, where their elevation is, where they're heading to, at what time. You see the timer, and it's all recorded. So you could go back if you didn't catch it live and be like, oh, this guy was holding this angle at this time when this hard point was rotating. I keep screwing that up, but this guy got it down. I'm going to try that next time. And as a caster, having played it, having seen it 100 times, you're able to call that out. Be like, oh, we're rotating to the third hard point, and look, so and so is already here in this spot, and look, he's on a 3 streak right now because of this. If you're watching, like, you have to try this strat out, and that's something that I call out, which a lot of people appreciate from the professional scene, that they can get that out of the viewership as well, not just entertainment.
Oh yeah, especially film is really good. I mean, there's a reason why people watch film. Football, soccer, almost any sport, people watch film for a reason.
Yeah.
Not a lot of esports players watch film at all. And when I was a league owner, I mean not a league owner, a org owner, I push film a lot. I would find the film from other teams playing. I would send it to my players, and I said, "You guys need to watch what they're doing." I said, they are a lot of creatures of habit. They're going to go the same way for each rotation. They're going to do the same thing, and then they're not going to expect you to be there and hold that angle. I said, all you have to do is figure out a game plan, rotate a little earlier than they do, figure out when they rotate, around what time, take out an average, and then get there, hold a certain point, and then you can easily win each hard point right off the bat. And it's really not that hard. You just got to learn the maps, uh, learn what they do, and it's pretty simple. And I'm so surprised how many people don't watch film at this point. And even as casters, you guys could probably watch film too. Just watching other casters, see how they cast and stuff, and then you can also watch other teams play, and you can also see like who's the better player, who's the better one to look at, and stuff like that too. But I've been so surprised going into esports and not seeing as much film watch as I thought I would have at all.
Yeah, doubling back on that, watching other casters as well, 100%. I'll throw on the official Call of Duty stream, listen to Miles cast. He's so great at it. Listen to his podcast and stuff. Even when he plays games, like how do casters stream when they play games? Because no one really cares that they play. They just want to hear him cast. So it's cool to see how he transitions through that. But I don't have the accent he has, so I'll never be that good. But he's very good at casting, and the way he's able to make his voice last as long. It's kind of like in any kind of vocal performance, you have to let your voice rest at certain points and heighten it at certain times. And it's also the routine beforehand. I like drinking some tea with honey is a good one, and have it on hand. Water the whole time, of course. Breaks in between rounds, but you don't get breaks too much between rounds as the caster because you got to keep the voice going. But sometimes you do get a little break, especially if there's a duo cast. I know you mentioned Graf being one of the top. That's my other half right there. Love casting with him. If one of us is doing one, we try to bring the other. We did an in-person LAN for Modern Warfare 2. That was spectacular. It was my first LAN casting in person. Got a full flight out to Colorado, stayed with him, and casted, and it was the best time of my Call of Duty career right there, and really appreciated that. But yeah, watching the VODs, looking at what your opponents are doing. If there's a truly professional en route amateur team that is watching VODs, not just theirs, but the team they're about to play, see what they do better and see if there's patterns. Even watch the personal streams where people just stream the strats they're going to do because they're just being silly, and they'll like, oh, all right, when this happens they're gonna go here, or they really push A bomb like all the time, and this is what they show when they are gonna flip B. This is where their nades hit, like, oh, the nade hit this building, so clearly they're going B because that's what they always do. And a team that far ahead in professionalism will always beat the other team, even if they have equal gun skill. Once you get to that top level amateur level of skills with your guns, everyone hits their shots. Almost no one misses. The sniping is the only time you can have better gun skill. We're not sure where the sniping is going to lie at for this Call of Duty, but it's really just the strats, the VODs going over the teamwork. Comms are huge. I'll do listen-ins and 100% follow those listen-ins, the call-outs. One or two words, and make sure the words are low in syllables as well. Like you want to say like blue house, top building, low building, red car, stuff like that. Those are the call outs. Top pipe, low pipes, whatever it is. You don't want to just say, oh, he's mid, oh, he's up. You want to give a little more descriptor, but keep it super quick. And some guys will just flood it in and they'll be like, low, 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 mid, 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 mid. Like, relax. You're blocking comms. No one can communicate. And Call of Duty's so quick, once you make that comm a half second later, they're somewhere else. Especially this movement in Black Ops 6. It'll be very interesting how comms are played out. Uh, but if you want to, go into the movement, how do you think this Black Ops 6 is going to change how the professionals are playing?
It's really going to change a lot, especially being in the esports scene for a while. I mean, I've been in the esports scene since Modern Warfare 2019, and me personally, that's been a while because that was my freshman year of high school. I've only been out of high school for a year, but I kind
Yeah.
of grew up my teenage years in esports, and just seeing this new movement, it's really going to change a lot. Like, there's really a big gap of learning that a lot of players are going to have to go through. And I feel like a lot of the new Call of Duty is going to be the movement. If you anybody that is good at movement, they're going to thrive off this, and they don't even have to be the best shooters. They just have to learn this new movement, and they're just going to thrive in everything else. And it's just going to be you can have a good shot, but if you don't have good shots and you don't have good movement, you're really screwed. And if you just have mid movement and you're going to be like a rusher or something like that, you're done. You just got to hold back and hit your shots. That's really the best thing I can tell you. And me, I was never good at movement, so I don't even know how I'm going to even be better at this Call of Duty because Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 were both on my decline. I didn't like neither of the games, in my personal opinion,
Right.
but um, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel and how I'm gonna even play on Black Ops 6 because the last game that I really had fun was probably Vanguard, and that was a couple years ago. But I don't know where it's gonna go. Um, a lot of esports players, I feel like they're gonna thrive. A lot of, especially professional, I feel like they're going to overuse the movement. And I'll be surprised if they don't. But I feel like the movement is going to be really emphasized on a lot of new strategies. Um, I, I'm just so excited to see how it's going to play out in the esports scene. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the movement's going to benefit the flankers. I love flanking, but you got to be quick. The mantling is very smooth. Whether auto mantling will be included in a flank strategy, probably not. I know pros like to manual everything, but everything's just so smooth. The diving is crazy. The way you can dive laying back, I've been killed by players dived laying back like crooked because I think they're dead bodies. Like, oh, that guy's still alive. That's killed me so many times. And that's gonna come up in professional because the more professional you get, the less bad players you see. So if a professional does a bad player move, it's big brain because no one expects it. It's kind of like that hidden, keep it in your secret package move. Like, why is that guy standing there? Or if you throw a smoke and just stand completely still, like a noob would do that. But I've seen in pro scenes, especially in Counter Strike, where that works out great. The pro is looking left and right of the smoke, and he's still there, dead in the center, and kills him. It's crazy how the rookie strategies come out, the more advanced the game gets, and become professional strategies. And now with rushing, if they're able to catch their route and get behind them with the crazy movement, I think that'll benefit. And submachine guns. So with this game, one thing that I saw is the damage values drop off a lot sooner for SMGs. They're more
Hmm.
kind of shotgun range weapons. And headshots don't matter this game at all
Hmm.
unless you're using the CHF barrel. They're still doing some testing, some real world testing, not the in game numbers because they're not all accurate. But and we also don't know if the pro scene's going to allow the CHF barrel. I'm calling it the chef barrel. No one else calls it that, but but without that, ARs 100% don't matter at all. SMGs, it's like far away, and every shot has to be a headshot, so it's almost never going to happen. So SMGs are going to be more beneficial with the movement, but I like that they killed the damage range on them to make it more even on the battlefield so ARs can still hold those long ranges since AR players usually aren't the best with movement, which is right where I fall. As you get older, you don't want to be moving around so quick. You kind of just want to chill and hold your angles and block off paths, especially with the sniper. You don't really need movement if you're rocking that. So I think that's kind of where the player division will fall. People great on movement, they're going to go SMG, they're going to be route man, they're going to be doing flanks, they're going to be first on the hard point, they're going to be breaking hard points. And then the ARs, they're going to be the guys not so good on movement, but can really get those shots and hold angles.
I feel like the damage drop off is probably one of the best things Call of Duty could have done for this COD because if they had SMGs overpowered, all this game was going to be would be SMGs because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times Call of Duty has had a lot of unbalancing and it's just would be strictly ARs or it's going to be strictly SMGs. I feel like with the new movement, having the SMGs knock down a tab or two is really going to help people when they have AR mains. They're going to be able to thrive without having to learn the movement. Even if they are decent at the movement, they could still get by without it because SMGs are going to have to be super close up to you and you're going to have a minute to get there. But like you said, it's really going to be a learning curve for everybody because there's going to be new routes. And this goes back to the VODs. If you watch the VODs and know their path and what they are going to do, you can almost predict everything they're going to do. And another thing that I always pushed was not just push the casting match, but if they had like a standout player, find his stream, listen to their call outs, and listen to stuff you can learn from their call outs, and then just then alone you can learn from what they are doing from their perspective. And you can see what their team does if they have team strategies. And a lot of this game is going to be changing strategies. And
Yes.
this is going to be a learning curve. I don't know if this is going to be in the future because they took away slide canceling. That was a little bit of a learning curve from everybody. Uh, and then slide canceling, a lot of people was learning that too. Not a lot of people knew what that was. So a lot of the movement is really going to change this Call of Duty, and I feel like it's going to be a lot being a different pace than people are used to. Instead of being a slow sit back or uh, at first and then high kill, I mean, it might just be high kill the whole time. I don't know how it's going to go, but you just got to wait till the videos come out. And I'm excited to see the leagues start up. I'm excited to see some casters go up and start streaming some. Um, I can't wait to see some more videos of just seeing other people's strats and seeing what they can get out there. But
I know my controller is very excited to not have slide canceling around anymore because controller companies might start hurting now because people are going through them like crazy, mashing that R3 all the time.
oh yeah,
God. Oh man. Uh, I think PC is still on top. I see a lot of gamers still on that, especially with it being on Steam and Battle.net. PS5, a lot of people still rocking with that as well. The PS5 Pro, I don't think that's going to matter too much. Not too many Xbox this year
hmm.
for Call of Duty. I'm not sure who officially was partnered with Call of Duty for the esports scene. I think it might still be PC. I have to look into that more. But most of the casters I see, they're playing. Most of the top amateurs, they're streaming. So definitely get out there, watch what they're doing, write it down. Take notes. 100%. Always get a notepad. I always have one on hand. When you see something, write it down. You see them say something, write it down. Each map, pull it up. I don't know. I forget the app, but there was one where you could like move and play in strats. I'm not sure if they updated to Black Ops 6. I'm sure they did. Or you just make your own. Get a screenshot of the map, draw lines on it, draw points, be like, hey, here's plan A, B, and C, and here's a D just in case. This is what I saw this team do. This is what they could do better. This is what we should do. Get with your team and make some plans. And another thing we're getting with the team, plan on some people leaving because these teams, they last weeks. It's pretty crazy. Some last days. They'll move on to somewhere where they're getting a bigger number, somewhere where they're getting a better sponsor, somewhere where they're getting more views on the team, somewhere with a bigger community. There's always teams moving. There's always teams falling out. There's always orgs going out of business. There's always orgs starting. They all think they're doing something different. Most of them are not. Most people think they could just start their own and then realize it's not easy and people are going to leave just as fast as they left their last one. So, the best thing in regards to a team is both people that are your friends that can grow together and know are going to be online to practice. There's some people they only show up and play when the game is for the tournament or for the league, and they don't practice at all. Don't play with those guys. Get them out of there. You guys have to click. You have to get to the point where some comms aren't even needed. If you're pushing A, there should be a point where you don't even have to say where you're going, where you have to go. Hey, watch this. Hey, watch this. You should get to the point where when someone kills your teammate, you don't even have to do the call out. They just spin around, kill them. They know the exact route to take. Those are the teammates you need to look for. Those are the ones that are going to stick around. Like I've seen players since I've been casting Black Ops 4 that are still on the same team, still killing it out there. And every game they get better and better. And sure, every year they get older, so they might be getting a little worse, but mentally, strategically, they are getting better. And that's just the best way to do it. Look at these older streamers still out there killing it because they're still playing with the same people. They're not even playing professional. Sometimes they'll enter professional tournaments for big money, but it's having those great teammates always there, always practicing, always playing, and positive vibes. You don't want people saying, "Oh, you're a garbage teammate," cursing them out. Like keep the comms clean, keep it respectful, keep it professional. If you to truly play well together, you two are truly winning, but you don't just get along and you're still on the team, just keep it professional. Or, one of you just might just have to find a new team, especially if you want longevity past the game.
Yeah, that's one big thing that me, Dangerous, Scrappy, and Mr. Nice Guy, those were all org owners that I've had on the podcast so far. They all, I feel like every single one of them touched on loyalty and uh, keeping players was a number one thing they always touched on. Every single one of them. They had a long conversation about it. They even me, we all seen struggles of not having keeping a team because they're going to come, they're going to go, and I mean that's just how amateur orgs are. They want to come in. If they win, they're not going to stay long. They're going to get out. And Lego touched on that. He is a competitive player. And he's played on multiple of my teams. He's also played on multiple other teams. If he doesn't win and he doesn't click with the team, he gets the hell out of there. He does
Yep.
not stay at all. And he said that was because you only have so long. You thrive between now until about 24, 25, and you don't have long. And if you're already 20, you only got 3 more years left. And if you don't like the COD, you're screwed for that year. So you have one year off your list. And he says you can thrive in U18, but if you thrive in U18, you're going to be better when you're older. But you have to really push yourself and just going forward into the future. But VODs take you to the next level. I can't emphasize that enough. I brought it into my org, and it really pushed us to the next level. Knowing what people are going to do, and that just pushed everybody to the next level. If you want to get to the next level and you're not watching VOD, that is the first thing you need to do. You need to plan out a day and watch VOD. And a lot of teams, they don't even play with each other. They play with other people, they play with their buddies, and then come game day, here they are. They all get together, play a few matches in the beginning, and then go, which is insane. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be working callouts. You should be knowing what they're doing. You should be working strategies with each other. You should be figuring out what the other team is going to be doing. And I always focused on one league so you knew what you were doing, because a lot of players and teams, they are in multiple leagues. You have no
Yes.
planning. You have no planning. It'd be Monday. Oh, we got an org match at this time, and we got practice this time. And then tomorrow, we got 2 games for 2 different other leagues at this time and this time. I'm like, if you focus on 2 teams, 2 leagues, you can easily focus on 2 teams. It doesn't take that long. Because as soon as you lose, you watch VOD of what you did. You can learn what mistakes you did, and you can see what you can do in the future, especially if they were a rivalry. And especially if you're going to play them again once in the playoffs, that's a really big stream you need to watch. But either way, I have no clue what people do, and a lot of amateur orgs don't push it like I do. I don't know if it's just because I'm a football player and I watched a lot of VOD just because that's all I really cared about. Because if I'm going to a football game, I'm linebacker, and I'm going to see, and it's very easy. It's one of the basic things that you learn in football. If people step back, it's a pass. If people go forward, it's a run for line. And it's a very simple thing to learn, because then you know what to do, because if you need to drop back into coverage or you need to fill your gap. It's one of the two. And that can easily be implemented into the Call of Duty scene. But
Yeah, I'd say it goes right with where they're pre-flashing, where they're pre-nading. Be like, oh, is it a push? Are they holding back? Maybe you don't hear as many. Means they're probably not pushing. If you hear them all go, towards B site, very likely they go B. And then you get to the flip side of it. When you get super professional, then they start faking it out. They throw all their stuff B, but they're playing A. That's where watching the enemy's VODs really come in play there to see what exactly they do, what the tells are. Um, but yeah, that's most of it right there, I'd say.
oh yeah, and one thing I always like to do is I always ask, how'd you get into esports? Is it
As a
just
player,
oh yeah,
Yeah, so uh best thing, definitely Discord, which is where we're recording this now. You have a really big group here on your Discord, over 500, which is very cool. It'd be great, get some more people in here. Blue Stars Galaxy, look it up. Active community, very cool. Get in, talk to people. Don't just come in. Don't be a link poster. If you're gonna just come in, post your link, log off. Throw your PC out the window. I hate you. Everyone hates you. Just get on, make some friendships, make some connections, and then be like, hey, anyone playing? I'd love to join. Stop streaming. You want to get on a team? Don't worry about the streaming. Get on someone else's stream. Be like, oh, you're streaming? Yeah, I'd love to hop on and play with you. And then, work with their community. Now you have their backing as well. Like, oh, I like when he plays with this guy. Be like, all right, now let's start focusing more on yourself. Be like, hey, well, guys, you know what? I stream too. Start popping up your stream. Like, all right, now you have people watching you. Now get on a team, right? You got viewership. You're in that community. Join another one. Like you said, don't join too many orgs. Don't join too many discords. You could be in 100 of them, but be active in at least two, and be very active. Know everyone's name, not their username. Get to know their name. Uh, get playing with them. Be active, and be kind. Unless your ego is being disrespectful, then stick with it. But just be true to yourself. Don't be fake, and don't post your link. If people are asking you for the link, you're in the right spot. If no one's asking and you have to post it, you got to change your whole game plan because you're not doing it right. You want people to want to play with you, to want to watch it. You don't want to force them to do it. If you have to force it, change it up. Be nicer, be more active, be more real, start having actual conversation with people. Get in the DMs of some people that you're real friends with. Message them, be like, hey, I just wanted to ask you if it's okay if we could play together. You seem pretty chill. Like, here's my username. Send me an invite. Appreciate it. Now, you made that. You made all those connections. As someone might say, hey, you want to join the team? You seem pretty cool. You have a good KD. You have good on map etiquette. That's where you want to be. If you don't get that, ask around. Be like, hey, whether they have an opening. Most of them won't post it because they'll go so quick. They lose a player and get one immediately the next day off of recommendations of the people already on the team. And maybe you want to be that recommendation, or just get in the wait list. Message them maybe once a month. Be like, hey, still got any openings? I see, you guys are doing pretty good. I really liked when you beat so and so team. And throw a strat. Be like, oh, I love when you guys did this strat. That worked really well. It shows that you're actually watching. You're paying attention. Oh, this guy, he's not just gonna float around. He actually appreciates this team. Oh, let's get him on here. Maybe a big thing, get in their eights. Get in their Discord lobby. If they have eights going on, maybe there's only seven. That's your day. Get in there, and if you're trash, darn it, you missed your chance. Try again. But if you're respectful and you're trash, they still might work with you. But if you do well, great communication, and S&D, it's 1v3 and you clutched it, I mean, you're on the team. That's it right there. You should be not sweating because it's 1v3, but sweating because every player is watching you. Now's your chance. This is you getting on the team. So that's when you turn up. That's how you get on a team.
As I couldn't have said any better right there. That's word for word. And I know what you mean by the link posting, because a lot of people would come in, post their link or their live streams, or they'd advertise in my Discord. I made it to where you have to, one, be a friend with me, or and I know like you're not going to do that, or you got to be active in my Discord, because we have a Discord bot where you talk and you gain levels. So you got to be at least a level 10 to be able to post in the promo section. And
Yep.
that is a very limited section, because a lot of the people that talk, they aren't here to post links. So the people that actually need to post links, and they've earned their right to do it, because they've talked for a decent while, they've learned, and you can't just spam in my Discord. There's a bot that limits the spam. It's Then they have to level up. I mean, count to 1,000,000, you can kind of spam, but you don't get a lot of XP for just putting four numbers. So you got to actually write sentences and talk to people, or you're screwed. You're not going to be able to talk to a lot of people. And I've had a lot of dumpers, and one guy, he was my. I used to compete in Madden. He was my old Madden coach. He was upset that I had it locked on my server and he couldn't post. And I said, "You got to be active within my community to have the ability to post here." I said, I know you know me, but this is my server. This is my community. If you want to post here, they're wanting to see you in chat, and this is going to push you individually to get to know some of my people, and then this will engage them to come to your streams. And he was just not for it at all. He dropped me as a player to even coach me, and I was just, it was just in the middle of a game. It wasn't in the middle of a game. It was right before a game that I was going to play that night, and it was a big game. And I just couldn't believe he just dumped me. He blocked me on everything, and he just said, "Screw
Wow.
you! I'm not gonna
Wow.
coach you no more." And I said, "That's insane." And coaches are really big. I will say that because for me, I've tried to get a Call of Duty coach. We do have a podcast plan to get a COD coach on here. T. Benz, you probably know him, Truman Benz. He's going to be on here in the future. He was one of my coaches a couple years ago. I can't remember the Call of Duty. I think it was Vanguard. Yeah, it was Vanguard. And he's very engaged as a coach. But I had a coach for Madden, and just the one-on-one connection with my Madden coach. If I didn't see something from my perspective, he can see something from his perspective, and that really helped out a lot going into my game plan for the game. Because a lot of people, when you play Madden, they have only 4 to 5 plays that they're going to play. Uh, and it's just going to be them over and over again, depending on what down it is and how many yards to go. They're going to play a different play, and if you have a widespread offense, it's really hard to be predictable, and that can transfer to any game. And Call of Duty, if you are non-predictable, it's very easy to get by. But I don't know. It's just being a player. You really got to get your name out there, and that you can't be by streaming because Call of Duty. If you go to Twitch live streams and you look at how many people streaming and how many viewers there are, you can go to the least amount of viewers and you can just scroll, and there's just one viewer after one viewer after one viewer.
Yes.
There is not a lot of big streamers in there, and if they are big, they are big, and it's hard to get past them because there are so many streamers, and it can be, and there's, you can scroll and it'll be 2 for a while, 3 for a while, and it's really hard to get over that hump. But
Yeah, and I'd like to add on that. So, streaming. So, not everyone has a lot of money, right? And they want to stream, and that's great. But then they also want to play professionally while they stream, and they didn't have a lot of money, which usually means your setup isn't that great, which means your PC is taking a lot of its power to stream and play this game at its top level to be competitive. It can't do both if you didn't put a bunch of money into it. A fair amount, right? Like probably, 3 grand is probably get you there. And a lot of streamers, I scroll and I love building a community out of those one viewers because those are the real people. And I'll pop in, just listen. I won't chat until they're worth my time. And they'll be like, "Oh man, like I'm really lagging," and I'm looking at their ping. It's all over the place. It's like, I send a message like, "Oh, yo, what's your PC specs?" And they sending me, it's like some like i3s and stuff. I'm like, man, like this is why. Like, stop streaming, dude. If you want to be a great player, you don't have the setup for doing both, and that's okay. You don't have to be a streamer. Play on the team, and someone on the team is streaming, and if all 4 players went off of one stream, they'd have 4 times the viewers because everyone that wanted to watch will watch that guy if they're not casted. And usually, what I see is that is how the professional teams will do it. Just one player casts, just as proof of VOD, plus the cast will have one, plus one person on the other team. And the person streaming will not host the game when they switch hosts because that's even more taxing on their computer. Even if you have, a 10K setup, just in case, you get that one lag during the game. The host will not be the streamer. And keep that in mind for those, sub 30, sub 100 even streamers out there. It's not worth losing the game to lag if you're not getting the viewership. Some people just want to play on a team as part of their whole deal for streaming to show to give uh uh they're actually doing this to show like that's their thing. That's the way they're creating content. Like this is how you play on a Call of Duty team. Not many people are doing it for that. Most of them want to be professional. They want to get on, whatever team, and they want to, make millions of dollars. But you pretty much have to pick a lane there. You can't do all of it. Just pick one. Most of them are streaming just because they have to show they're not cheating. Some leagues will be like, oh, you've been reported for using whatever that you're cheating. We need a hand cam and you need to stream it. Some do that. Some are, if you're on console, you don't have to stream, but if you're on PC, you absolutely have to because PCs are all cheaters. And those leagues, you have to. So those are the only times these people are streaming, and keep that in mind. And if there's a caster, you know, if it's not league rules, have no one stream. Have everyone at the top of their game for their console. And now with streaming as well, and you saying VODs are important, this is a question for you and any of the viewers out there if they made it this far. Thank you for watching and listening. Uh, what do you honestly think is a better platform? Is it Twitch or is it YouTube? And to add on to that, the thing I've seen as I've been casting and streaming for a long time, since Fortnite Season 3, I've been streaming and casting since Black Ops 4. Uh, Twitch has a more engaging community and more ways to get paid from the viewer. It's a lot more fun. There's a lot more, nonsense on screen. There's emotes going everywhere. The chat's fun colors. There's weird stickers going on. There's tip jars. There's bits flying. And YouTube, it's a little more, professional. It's more contained. There's not as many ways for the viewer to reward the streamer. But YouTube is permanent VODs. And I have been contacted by teams, by players, like, hey, I'm putting my gaming resume together. Can you send me that VOD? I'll send it to them if I have it. Or I'll be like, because I did it on Twitch forever for Call of Duty. Or I'll be like, hey, I'm sorry, man. Like that was like whatever 8 months ago. That was the last COD. Like Twitch deletes them, and I do not save them. I don't have a room full of hard drives, so I can't save all these. And that it makes me feel bad knowing that I might have lost him that position due to the VOD not being permanent. So YouTube has the benefit in that sense. So what do you think is better as a Call of Duty streamer? Is it YouTube or is it Twitch?
I'm gonna go
Or
out
does
on
it
a
get
limb here. If I had to pick from the two, I'm going Twitch. Twitch, you can always benefit from. There's a lot more viewership, and not a lot of people I know is on YouTube. But I will go out on a limb. One thing I've discovered that's really pushed me past the one viewer, TikTok. TikTok
Okay.
streaming, that has pushed me past that one viewer hump. I'm averaging now 20 viewers on, and they convert. They do convert. A lot of people don't think they convert. I had a big stream. Roblox went down, which I don't know why, but Roblox really pops off on TikTok, and Roblox went down, and I had a big stream. I had 2,700 people in my TikTok stream at once. I had over 300,000 people click on that TikTok live, and those people, they came back. I gained over 2,000 followers on TikTok, and they slowly converted over into my Twitch. And you can tell them, be like, hey, there's so many people in my chat right now. I can't really read you, but I'm also live on Twitch. If you guys come over, you can also see that I'm live on Twitch, because you can stream on multiple platforms. I stream on Twitch and I stream on TikTok every day. I thought
What do you
about
use to duocast?
um, I usually use Streamlabs for Twitch, but if you go into your settings, you can use virtual webcam, and you have to click on that, and then you got to download TikTok Studio, and then you got to connect it somehow. I forget how I did it. It's kind of confusing, but you got to connect them. You got to enable your virtual webcam, and then it goes over to your TikTok. I'm still kind of new to learning to it. One thing, TikTok, they don't like anything, so you gotta really like learn the ins and outs. I've already been banned on TikTok for about a week or two before because of stuff that I did not know they don't like. And Twitch, you can get away with a lot of it, but TikTok, they have automated
Yeah.
stuff, so you can be streaming one moment and you don't even know what you did next moment. Sorry, you just got banned. You gotta submit an
Yeah, that's how
appeal.
Twitch is sometimes too. You'll be scrolling through, be like hot tub, hot tub, hot tub. Oh, here's an actual guy playing a video game. And like that's pretty much the state of Twitch in my opinion.
Yeah, but TikTok, I think it can really push you back past the hump, and
And
uh,
they're real viewers, you think?
they are real viewers. They come back,
Okay.
they talk, they are engagers, and they even play with me because I'll even put playing with viewers. That's a one big thing. If you want to get engagement, hit save playing with viewers. Like just as a player, if you put playing with viewers, they are going to come no matter what game you are playing because they're going to come engage and then they're going to come back every stream. Hey, are you still playing with your viewers? You still playing with your viewers? Hell yes, I'm still playing with my viewers. Hop in, add me up, let's play some games. Uh, I always
That's
play.
big for eights too.
Oh yeah,
Definitely be like hosting eights, playing with viewers. I see that a lot. It works great. Like, hey, you got an opening? Like, sure, come on in. So
that's a
big.
really big thing for TikTok. I
And
don't
they'll
know.
keep watching because they're watching usually not even the stream, they're just watching for there to be one less player. Be like, all right, cool, I have a chance now. Let me in.
Yeah, and one of the big things for TikTok, they don't have ads, but you can still make money off gifts, and people can gift you, and then you can make money off of that. But um, you can have benefits. Say on Twitch, you're gonna have this, but you're gonna have this. So you really gotta weigh out your indifferences. So do you want to make money off your ads, or do you want to make money off gifts and have the engagement? I mean, you can still have engagement on Twitch, but I've really kind of equaled it out to where I have about 10 people on Twitch and 10 people on TikTok. At first, it was kind of hard. You'd have like one viewer on Twitch, and then you'd have 30 people on TikTok, and they're all typing at once, and you're trying to keep up, and you're missing people. You have to really tell them, be like, hey, I'm live on Twitch. And if I miss your message, I am sorry. I'm not trying to miss your message. And you got to engage with the chat. That's one thing streamers I see don't have. If they don't want to talk to you or they don't like what you said, skip on. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's true.
are you kidding me? That's the easiest way to make people leave. Literally one click of a button, you're gone. They will never come back to your stream. If they don't like to see one engagement with you, you're gone. And that's a one thing a lot of my viewers say. They say you're always engaged in the chat. You read every single message. You love what we're talking about. And if you don't like it, you still read it and you say, maybe don't say that again. Or you're just being very engaged into the chat. And I just don't see streamers do that. Like, even when I'm in the middle of the game, I'm watching chat. And I know as a caster, you can't really do that. You got to be engaged more often.
Yeah, I was just
But
gonna follow up with that. Yeah, with casting, it's the game, 100%. Don't talk about chat. Don't do none of that. You're on the game in the game. I'll go to chat between games, and I don't want to. Like, if I want to break, I'll just be like, "Hey, chat, what do you think of that game?" And I'll just like take a second, breathe, take a drink, read chat, or I'll be like, before the game starts, "All right, chat, who do you think's gonna win? What do you think the score's gonna be?" And with Twitch, they had a betting thing where you could
oh
bet
yeah,
channel points, and people love gambling, so you throw that in there, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm betting it all on whoever," and it's a really fun way to engage it. And then I'm able to show a graphic. As again, where Twitch has is they have a lot more fun with the stream. I'd be able to show, all right, well, this guy says that they're picked to win, so let's see how it goes. And the more viewers are in, the better it ends up. And I've seen with the betting and gambling graphic that people from the other team, if it's mainly one side, one heavily sided of fans watching from one team, like it'll be 90-80%. The one guy from the other team watching will get his friends to be like, oh no, now we gotta bet, we gotta show everyone that we're as cool. And then I've ended up with 300 viewers on casting just like that. There's kind of ties into how you said people with a lot of views, and then it's like 10 and under. And there is middle ground, and I'll tell you right now, middle ground's just casting. That's the middle ground. It's I don't think casting can get you past middle, and I don't think casting will ever keep you sub 10. It'll always be middle. I do get subscribers, I do get donations and stuff from casting. You definitely get more as a player. Uh, but some more insight to the casting world. People love subscribing just so that they can show support and that there's no ads. A lot of people hate when they click on Twitch and there's 4 60-second ads because Twitch is awful in that sense. So I'll run pre-rolls between matches. Is the worst thing is when I'm casting and I see someone in the chat says, "Oh, ad! Someone tell me what's happening. What's happening? Oh, I still have 120 seconds left of ads. Please tell me who's winning." And that's the worst. So run your pre-rolls between matches. If you have to, because the match is going a little long, do it between rounds, and at the beginning is the best time to do it if you have to. But you got to get rid of those pre-rolls. And one other thing I wanted to add on, you talked about coaching and how important that is. Coaching, pretty much what you're doing as a coach is casting, but to nobody. You're just watching it. You're taking notes. You're like, oh, when so and so is doing this, I see that this is a huge mistake. His nades aren't landing. Write down. Got to work where. Got to work with his nade directory. Be like, all right, you see, you got to aim for this, and then look up a click, and then that's where you throw it. So let me write that down. Like, oh, this guy's an SMG, but his sensitivity is way too low. Let me write that down. There's one thing as a player, when you miss your shots, you're not paying attention to how you miss the shots. You're like, none of my shots are landing. As a coach, you'll see, oh, they're aiming past them or they're aiming before them. They'll write that down. Be like, all right, I think you should raise or lower your sensitivity. Try it. Some people get a split sensitivity because screens are always horizontal, so you usually have a slower one vertical. Coach will write that down. These are the things the coach sees that the player you'll never see unless you watch your own VOD, which a lot of people don't. It's the best way to grow is watching you play in a non-stressful environment. Even if you're just chilling and you're pub stomping, your brain is still going. You can turn your brain off and just watch on the VOD, relax, sip your drink, and be like, oh, wow, this was actually a terrible thing that I'm doing. Let me write that down. Like, oh, I'm jumping too much. Oh, I should have dove here. Oh, I should have drop shot in this situation. Oh, I should have jump shot the corner. Every time I jump this corner, it looks like he's standing in this corner when I die, and I always win the fight when he's in the other corner. So this is how I have to change it. And those are just the things you see as a coach, very beneficial. The problem with finding a coach, everyone wants to play. A coach does not play at all. Sometimes they'll hop in eights if they need it filled, but a coach just isn't going to play. Usually they're an older person that is just wants to help the kids out, and that's very cool. But even the older heads, they still want to play. So finding that coach very valuable, and a good coach usually gets paid. You gotta throw him some bucks, even if he's free. Just throw him a 10 every now and then. Be like, yo, I really appreciate you. You've helped me a lot. We just won $100 in this tournament. Give him 20 bucks of it. He helped out. Keep the coaches around because they're gonna hop to the first guy that gives them more money.
That's exactly how it is. And I want to jump on a subject before I wrap up a few things. You said as a player to not worry about streaming, and sometimes I believe in that. And obviously, you can run games without streaming just to see, like, it really depends on your setup, like you said. But as a player, if you want to get better, don't like stream your pub stomps. But when you like go into matches and you're like playing as a team and like you're practicing as a team, stream that and then see how you're playing with each other and watch that. If you want to just lay back and relax, you can watch what you're doing. You can see what your teammates are doing, especially if you don't have a coach. Because if you don't have a coach, somebody has to step up and do it. Or it's just going to be you guys going to have to think about clicking. You got to really be in your head about that. And that's just a lot. But if you're pre-game and you know what you're doing as a player and you know what your teammates are going to do and you're watching your VOD, you know what you can do. You can coach yourself up. Just comparing yourself to other CDL players or just other amateur players to learn new things. Your teammates, other leagues, other owners, other um, just other teams in general. You can really learn a lot. But that's I would always watch my own VOD. I'd see what I do wrong and say, I don't know what I was doing there, but that was the dumbest decision I could have ever done in my entire life. Or I don't know how I did that. That was a great decision. I wasn't even thinking I did that. So you really got to know what you're going to do, and it can be subconsciously, or you can really have everything planned out. If everything's planned out, everything's going to go a lot smoother than just to do everything subconsciously. Uh, now,
If your system can't handle the streaming as well, you can just record it.
that is
Recording
true.
isn't as taxing as streaming if you really need to go that route. Which is pretty much what I'm going off of there is this, if your system limited. If your system can do it, stream all the time, of course. Grow your community in that sense. But it's just the majority of players just don't have the tangible funds to build something like that. If you're going in college, it's actually tax deductible to get as nice of a PC as you want because it's for school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 100% utilize that and get yourself a really cool PC and write it off.
Yeah, U18. I've talked to Scrappy. He was the last guy I did my podcast with. He actually can really help people get you a scholarship, and that's one thing I really like about what he's doing. He's helping people get scholarships in the U18, and I love to see people get scholarships for competitive Call of Duty. Obviously, a lot of schools near me they want to touch Call of Duty because they got guns. Oh boy, and I can understand that, and not a lot of high schools touch with that, but I understand from their point of view. But one thing I want to talk about before we end things here, um, how'd you get into casting? I know as a player,
Yeah, that's a good point.
uh, you've you've competed before, but how did you get into casting?
Yeah, so Black Ops 4 was where it all started. I was playing, it wasn't Search and Destroy. I forget what the mode was called. I think it started with an H, where it was like Counter Strike. You had to buy stuff between rounds.
Oh, I know what you're
But
talking about.
yeah, but when you died, you were watching
Hmm.
your teammates, which it wouldn't happen that often. I wouldn't die that often. But when I did, I was just like joking around and just casting with the boys, just like talking over, just messing around. And they're like, "Yo, you are really funny. Like you should definitely start streaming it." So I started streaming, doing it, and everyone watching really liked it. Picked up the viewership. They were engaging. I'm like, all right, people actually like this. So I got on Discord, got in some groups. No one had casters. Casting wasn't a thing back then, really. And I'm like, yo, it would be cool if I could cast your match. There wasn't like caster settings in private match, really. So you kind of had to customize it yourself and just do with what you had. And I was just talking over it. And a lot of people watching were like, yo, that's really cool. Like, I'm in this other org. You should totally be in ours. So I would do that. And there would be a team be like, oh, we also play in this org. You should totally be over here. Well, 2 months later, I'm in 200 discords looking for a caster. And I'm like, all right, clearly this is going really well. And I can't be everywhere at once. So that's where money got to come in. It dropped down to like 10 discords. Like, all right, this is more manageable. Like, cool, I had 200 and now I only have 10, but now I have 10 that pay. It was $5, let's get in the cast. And then that grew in itself. I was able to be more manageable. Next Call of Duty comes out, message those 10, 5 of them don't exist anymore, and I still have the bunch of others that I just joined. I'm like, all right, let me get in those, let me start casting there. Grew some more, again at $5, way too many. Had 100 teams messaging me at 9 p.m. every day. Like, all right, it's $10 now. Whoop, that dropped right back down to 10 teams again. Like, cool, this is more manageable. Again, just kept going, kept going, kept going. I think I went up to 25 a game by Modern Warfare 2. Especially after the LAN, having that in your resume makes you a lot more professional. And being regarded as one of the top casters in the amateur scene was definitely a benefit. And if a team was just starting out, or if a group was just starting out, I throw them a free one every now and then just to help the community. I didn't want it to be about money. I just wanted the money to be about limiting who actually asked and get better quality groups, organizations, and teams. And it worked out beautifully. I took a year off from Modern Warfare 3 because it sucked and I didn't even want to buy it. Everyone hated it. Players hated it. Casters hated it. Everyone hated it. So didn't want to do that one at all. Black Ops 6, saw the trailer for it, saw the hype. The COD community hates everything. They hate their breakfast. They hate Call of Duty. They hate everything in life. But they actually looked like they started enjoying the trailers and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll pre-order it. Game came out. The Before the game came out, all the content creators got the game early, and what COD Next, whatever it's called, they were enjoying it. I'm like, all right, this is the COD. I'm doubling down, messaging all these groups back, and I'm gonna get on the game immediately, start playing, and you know, it's a the way that I went about it is a great way to do it. Get on if you're on a team and there's enough players, cast it. If you go up on a group and there's just one player and he's streaming, cast his stream. I've seen that work very well. You got to watch your terms of service on that a little bit, but that does work. Be fun. Have your unique thing that makes it you. When I started casting, just being a caster got you the job. But now there's a lot of players. A lot of us are getting older, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll just cast. That's cool." It gets people see the viewership casting gets, and that's all they were looking for. They didn't care about actually playing. They just wanted viewers. They want money. They want to get rich. So they see casters get 300 viewers, and now since there's so many, now casters are getting like 10 to 50. It's supply and demand. So the best, the most viewership are now just better leagues. Like say, oh, I'm casting a challengers team. Like, oh, you're getting everyone then. Oh, I'm casting, pro-ams. You're getting most of the viewership now. So that is where casting is now in terms of viewership. And to get in, again, just get in, get on the team, say, hey, you guys looking for a caster? And the bigger groups want more casters because there's 410 teams playing every single day, so there's a lot of stuff that got to get recorded. So get out there and you can do it.
I completely agree with everything you said, and for me, as I wanted to get into casting, but I just seen that other people just wanted it more than I did. And one thing that I love watching the VODs. I'm not a very big player. I've kind of stepped out of the esports scene from the new Modern Warfares because they killed it for me. But with my podcast, I almost want to do a new section, and I want to get back in the esports. And I haven't seen it a lot, but I want to have another section where I focus on one league, and it's almost like an ESPN sports review. And you talk about player stats, you talk about future matchups, the matchups to watch, match of the week, and you sit down and talk about it with a group of people, and you go over stats, you go over everything, and will this player actually step up against this player? And I'm really looking for the opportunity to do that for a league. Um,
What league are you thinking? Because I'll tell you right now, I have done that. I started that. Every single league that I've done that with isn't around, or it's gotten to the point where I lack the faith of that league lasting so much that they can't pay me enough to do it at this point because it's not worth the investment, the amount of research, the amount of stat tracking that goes into it. It's a lot. And you got to be passionate about it. So you really have to pick that league. And I'm pretty sure Discord's max is 200. I drop 20 discords that just don't exist every month, and I got to pick up 20 more because leagues just don't last, and it sucks because I would love to do exactly what you're saying, and I have done it. And you do it for 3 months, and then the league's done, the teams are done, and it sucks. But I don't want that to discourage you from
mhm.
wanting to do what you wanted to do. But just from my experience, I want you to pick a very good, reputable one first, so uh, you don't lose that passion for what you want to do. But if you find a good one, I could definitely support you with that.
Yeah, I have a couple in. leagues in mind. I have my foot in the door with CGL. There's actually a big combination. We brought in about 3 or 4 orgs. Me and Dangerous. I was a general manager and content creator with Dangerous, and then I became a general manager at Galaxy. And we actually both, me and him, stepped into this project together, and they all became one big. They had like one other league merge, and then like 2 other orgs are helping out, and they're doing a really big uh, section. So they're having like a small league, a medium league, and a bigger league, and they
Okay.
have big team retention. I haven't brought it up with the owner yet, like the big huncho guy, but I've thought about it. And I said I have my foot in the door here. I already and there's so many people that's helping out. There's like 10 to 15 people in the staff. You have very little job, but you're having such a big payout to just help out. Like for me, I just focus on cheaters. I contact other leagues, find out who's cheating, and get proof and send it to, because I'm kind of like the second level guy. I send it to the upper level guy and be like, hey, this league's seen this. This guy could also play in our league. He's associated with this team. We might want to look out for this guy. And that's kind of my job. And I already have my foot in the door there, so I feel like if I just push a little bit more, I could probably get that position and really
For
help
sure, no
out the
one's
league.
doing it, and you're gonna get it. Like no one's doing that. And I think if someone came up to an org, because I've managed, I've never owned, because it's way too much for me. But I've managed a couple teams, and if someone came up and said, "Yo, I'd love to stat track and watch all this," be like, "Yeah, of course, like please do." And if you do reach out and you get whatever 20 yeses, charge them for it. You'll get one yes. Use that one.
Oh
And if
yeah,
it fails, at least you got paid for it. Or if you get 20 yeses and like I think you said the CGL, maybe they're not going to pay you, but that's your most passionate one, then go with that one. You want, yeah, at least get it on the resume and get professional. And whether you want to get money from the org or money from your viewers, you should find a way to monetize it if you want to. If you make enough in your day job, that's amazing. And I wish I had that job, but definitely go with the passion and pick your revenue stream how you want it to go for your best way to make it sustainable for something you can continue to do.
yeah. I thought about just trying it out for a season, be like, hey, this is our first big season together, uh,
That's good.
and we're really pushing a lot of it, and everybody's really excited. Some people are nervous. We were going to take ownership of another league, and I forget what league it was. And I piped up, and because they brought me on since I've owned the league before, and I piped up and I said, I've been in the esports scene. I have no clue who the heck these guys are. And I talked to some other league owners. We don't know who that league is. And I said, these guys are not known. Why do we want to take these over? I said, we already have a very reputable league. If we're bringing in another league, another orgs, just grow this. I said, we already have a foundation. Why bring something else in? I said, that's
Yeah.
going to bring 2 people together. People aren't going to like a lot of change. If we're just bringing in more staff to focus on one league to make it bigger, it's not going to be that bad. And I said, team retention is the biggest thing for leagues. Uh,
Yeah, you got to work on your reputation,
oh yeah,
especially if you're like I love that you brought up cheating. If even if people aren't cheating, if you're the league that people are like, you don't want to play in that one, a lot of cheaters in that one. Even if there isn't, like you don't want to be that league. A lot of people, I know you brought up don't play in too many leagues, pick one. I don't necessarily agree with that. It's okay having 2 league matches the same day. However, one of the leagues should be your practice league.
oh yeah,
Make one of them your actual league. When you get on, you do a few pub stomp games to warm up. What's better than a pub stomp game to warm up is a warm up league. Don't tell them they're the warm up league. Maybe you'll throw it in your trash talk. You're like, yeah, you guys are just the warm up match. Didn't even care about you. If that's what motivates you, that's cool. But definitely, I think it's good to have that practice league. And there is a few orgs. I don't have them organized right now to have off the top of my hand, but there are some good ones that you don't get paid for if you win, which are the best ones for your pub stomping or practice leagues. Definitely get in those. There's always teams, there's always matches, there's a bunch of players. Get in them, practice, understand how tournaments work, especially if you're a new team. Those are the best ones to get in. Just four friends messing around. Like, hey, if you destroy these guys, or then you can move on. If you don't destroy them, then stick with it, practice, and then you can move up to where leagues you have to apply for. And that's where you want to be. You get the VODs, you show them, be like, hey, this is our team. We're destroying everyone else. We won the championship. Now, some of these free leagues, you get $10 if you win the championship, which is nothing. Then you work up to these paid ones. Some of these amateur ones, they're paying like 10K with sponsorships. You get a whole PC build. It's pretty wild what some of these smaller orgs can give you for wins. So work your way up, stay in that practice league that got you there, and I think that's a great way to grow.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I want to touch on one more thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen your Instagram. You have a racing team that I've seen. Uh,
Yes, I co-own it with my one buddy, Fearless Creations. Um, so I race cars in real life as my hobby. I have a whole car thing, cooking cars on YouTube and the Racing Chef on Instagram, IRL, building a car, sponsorships, all that good stuff. I do car shows as well. I have a show car. But anyway, with the esports, racing picked up a lot. iRacing huge now, and honestly, I think it's because of electric cars. People aren't getting the thrill of driving that they used to. So now their sim rigs are crazy. I have one right next to my setup. You can't see on camera. I built pretty much ripped apart a whole Miata and built a sim rig out of it. It's very cool. But sim racing is definitely big. As you get older, uh, games like Call of Duty don't uh, uh, connect with you as much as something kind of geared towards your age, I'd say. And racing, you could do that forever. And racing a real car, I'd say, probably your 60s is when that starts falling down because your reaction time's a little slower, your body's hurting, the car's shaking. Race cars are the most uncomfortable thing in your life, and the G forces your body experience is insane. And your mind, if you think Call of Duty SMG rushers have like a crazy time and reaction in a car, when you're racing in real life, if you don't have that reaction time, you're dead. Literally dead. You die. So sim racing takes death out of the equation. And when you crash, you just start again. And I wanted to be a part of that and help see it grow. So I casted racing on my YouTube, The Gaming Chef. I if you switch over to my lives, you can see I've done a lot of racing casts. YouTube is the best place for racing streaming, and as you said, Call of Duty is pretty much Twitch, and I guess TikTok. I'll check that out myself. I hate TikTok, but you gotta play with the demon every now and then. But racing is up and coming. I think it's slowed down a little bit, but there's a lot more car guys than and girls than there used to be, and I think the car scene in general has been growing. I think it's just due to the pushback on electric vehicles, and I think it's only going to grow. And having the racing team there, it's always going to be there. It's not going anywhere, even if we're slow, a little inactive. My co-owner's going through some stuff, so the other thing, even with leagues that go out of business, just always be there. Don't shut it down. Tell everyone, hey, we're going on a 6-month break, and don't post anything. Leave it dead for those 6 months, because if you trickle in, oh hey guys, how you doing, you'll be like, oh yeah, this league, yeah, I'm out of there, I don't want to be in this Discord. Literally post nothing, and 6 months later, don't post, hey, big things coming. No one cares. Shut up. Post, hey, next week tournament starts back up. Boom, everyone's back in. That's what your first post needs to be. Have your plan already. No one wants big things coming. No one cares. They see that, they're out. Don't care. Gone. So same with racing. A lot of stuff picks up in this season right now, because in real life, most people live in the East Coast, northern side of the U.S. You can't race. It's cold. There's snow. Into the sim rig you go, and that's where that esport team comes into play. There's big money, the same sponsors for real cars, virtual, but sim racing costs big money at to a certain point. Logitech, I think the G920 and G923 are the two racing wheels. Those are your best way into it. It's like $200-300. You could get them used with the whole rig for like $200-300. Facebook Marketplace, check it out. It definitely has it. That's how I got mine. Uh, but I mean, you can spend literally $500,000 on your sim rig to have it shake and rattle and stuff, but you don't need it. There's what they in the sim racing community they call aliens. They'll have a desk mounted Logitech from like 1995 and destroy everyone on their $10,000 sim rig. So, if you want to get into sim racing, definitely do that. Get out there, get on Facebook, get the rig, get ones where the chair is connected to the wheel stand. Don't use your rolly chairs like this because once you step on the brake, you move back instead of the brake going down. 100% get ones where they're connected. I built mine out of wood to keep costs down and got the frame of it off Marketplace. I got a seat from the junkyard out of Miata, got some parts out of Miata to make it look cool. The seat was like $10 at a junkyard. Definitely do that. Easy. You can do it with hand tools. That's a great way to get into it, though. Get on iRacing, get your rating up. As many Call of Duty Discord groups there are, multiply that by 10. That's how many racing groups there are. Most of them are in Europe, but there are quite a bit in America.
Yeah, I seen that on your Instagram, and I was kind of getting into racing for a little while, and I actually do have. I experienced that with the rolly chair. If you press on the brake, you're going backwards.
Yeah.
You're not braking. You're going backwards. And uh, I got a steering wheel and I got pedals, and
Nice.
I played NASCAR a lot. I grew up on NASCAR. I'd be on the
There you go.
PS2 racing NASCAR. I'd be doing the Daytona 500 after school and just racing the Daytona 500 and have cautions on. I'd be uh, 10 years old and be caution after caution, take hours to beat Daytona. And sometimes I'd even have to save it for the next day because I didn't have enough time. But that
And
was,
NASCAR is huge in the U.S. If you want to get into sim racing and you're on the U.S. time schedule, and you're in NASCAR, it's a win. There's so much for NASCAR. I'm a more of a road race guy, so a lot of my leagues are in Europe, which kind of works with my time schedule because like right now it's nighttime in a lot of countries, which is right when I need to play. But then you lag a little bit. It's all right. But yeah, if you're in a NASCAR, best place to be sim racing. Do it. Get on there. It's not that taxing, especially NASCAR. You don't need that big of a setup. You just got to turn left. It's
yeah.
throttle control, and you need a steering wheel that is accurate in where you're pointing it. And the Logitechs do just that. It's fine. They plug into everything, PC, Xbox, PlayStation. They do everything. Uh, I got a free wheel from Camus, who sponsored me for an event that I held. That does not work for anything but PC, so it sucks. So I have to switch my whole wheel when I go to use PlayStation. So I've just been using the Logitech mostly, and it works good. So sim racing is a good spot to be. It's a good esport community. It's coming up. Big money. I mean, like some of these groups, you get 100K for winning just a race, not even the championship. Like it's nuts what you can get from sim racing.
Yeah, I kind of stepped into sim racing and I said, man, this is expensive to get into. And I said, maybe, and I'm not the best racer in general, and I'm just starting to learn on the wheel. I'm pretty good with controller, but I'm learning on the wheel. And I said, I am not very good on the wheel yet. I don't feel like stepping into this, but maybe into the
Keep
future, I
practice.
might step into this a little bit more. It's a new field I might step into, but if I still have my foot in the door in esports, I kind of focus on one thing. I kind of got
Yeah.
myself spread thin. I'm also power lifter. Next year, I'm going to go to nationals, try to win that first place title in my weight class.
Nice.
Um,
Congrats, man. That's cool.
I got injured last year. I won state and I won state regionals, and then I got injured. I didn't get to go to nationals, so I kind of took a year off this year, rebuild my strength. I'm back and better. I'm thinner. I'm down a couple weight classes, and I'm stronger. So I like to see that progress. So I'm ready to go to nationals. But before we wrap it up, I know I keep saying that, but uh, how'd you come up with the gaming chef name? I gotta know. How'd you
Yeah,
come up
that's a
with the
good one.
name?
So, starting out, uh, on PS2, we needed a PSN, and my dad signed up and just used his business name as our username, and I was stuck with that forever. So my name was just his name forever online. Be like, oh hey, like no, that's my dad. Hated it. PSN, you could not change your username either, and I'm like, all my trophies are on here, so I guess I'll just use it. And then high school started. I knew the career I wanted to do. Either was going down my dad's route and do cars, or I was going to do my route, which I literally woke up one day and was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up for cooking, see how that is. So in high school, I did 3 years in vocational for cooking. And then I believe it was around college, the PSN opened up being able to change your username. It's a huge deal. Everyone was going crazy. So I'm like, all right, got to think of it. Wrote a bunch down, like it's the gaming chef. Typed it in, was taken. Like fuck. So then the underscore gaming chef. Perfect. Went on Instagram, went on everything. It's available. Changed it up. And my car page was it was Cook Jonah for a while, which I didn't want to be chef because I wasn't a chef yet. But I was in I didn't want to be fake. Didn't want to be playing the game. Didn't want to wanted the authenticity. So then I'm like, all right, I went to school. I'm running a restaurant. I'm a chef, so everything's gonna be chef now. I wanted it clean. I wanted it simple. I wanted you to know what you were getting into when you got in. Uh, he's gaming and he's a chef. And is he playing cooking games or is he just cooking it up? Are we letting him cook? Who knows? So you go in and you find out. Uh, I do have a plan to do cooking games. I do have one video up on my YouTube for the gaming chef. I do not uh, make much content on YouTube for the gaming chef. I do live stream the racing, but mainly I've been focusing on the cars for cooking cars on YouTube, doing that really well. Got monetized on the channel already. Very excited with that. But that's the racing chef, the gaming chef, and I had a personal business when I lived in Florida for a bit. I was a personal chef, and that username is the Luxury Chef, which was also my LLC at the time. And like the word chef, killer. Everyone loves it. So very simple. You can see you got the chef code on. When I cast, I throw in some adjectives. Like, oh, he's frying. Oh, he's cooking. Oh, I let that one sear a little longer. He just went in raw with that one. That one doesn't hit too much. But yeah, it's just fun stuff like that. Like, no, food, raw food. Yeah. So it's cool. It brings the community together. You got to pick a niche and pick your gimmick. Like your Blue Stars Galaxy. Maybe your gimmick is space.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
you got stars and stuff. Like, oh, I see a space stream. That's my boy. Like, oh, food. Yeah, that's the gaming chef. 100%. He's the guy. And I'm not playing. I'm an actual chef. Ask me food questions. I have people in the chat testing me all the time. Be like, yeah, I know exactly what a veloute is. Do you know what a bechamel is? You know how to make hollandaise? No, I didn't think so. Shut up. Get back in chat. All right, sit down.
Uh,
So it's cool, and being authentic to what you're doing. If someone asks you about space, I'm sure you got some space stuff. You could talk about it for hours. Just pick something that you're passionate about, and isn't your main thing that you're doing. And I think it's just cool, and it's a way for you to stand out. And there's so many one viewers out there that I love that you put. You need something to stand out. Pick your thing and stick to it.
yeah, I always wondered whenever I seen you stream. I said, what is the gaming chef? Where did that come from? And I had to know when I got you on the
That's it.
podcast. But for me, when I rebranded, I said this is going to be my rebrand. I'm going to stick with it. When I was little, I had a telescope. I'd love space. I still, when I go out at night, I always look at the stars every single night. I stay up late, so I always get to see the stars.
Nice.
And then I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so that's where the Blue Star came from. So then I really focused on the Blue Star, and then I focused on the Galaxy theme and just tried to make it all one theme together. And to be honest, gaming really, if you look at people's gaming PCs, a lot of their backgrounds are galaxies and or just stars in general. And I'm like, I can really revolve around that. Uh, just with the Galaxy podcast or the Galaxy Discord, and it's really worked pretty good for my branding. But
And throw puns in there too.
oh
People love
yeah,
the puns.
I
Stars like, oh, we're out of this world. Just some lame ones, and then work into some ones that actually hit. It's cool. It works good. I don't have it next to me, but I have my frying pan prop. Be like, oh yeah, this guy's cooking, and people love it. I have my little grill right there
oh
that
yeah,
I'll use between games. Be like, oh, let's see who's cooking this time. Fry it up, use it as my transition. I have like a fun toy cutting board. It's cool. It's cool. I do cooking streams, like actual cooking, but that's a lot of work,
oh yeah,
and it's not going to pay right away. And I have an actual job where I am a chef, and I work 60 to 80 hours a week, which sucks. Which is why we're doing this podcast at 9-10 o'clock a.m. my time. It was the only time I could fit in because we have a bacon festival we're doing this weekend. So it's always busy in my life. I'm also a father. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I have a wife, so I have to
congrats.
take care of the family. Got to keep them happy, and there's just a lot going on in my time. I got to schedule everything. Schedules are huge. Get that schedule if you want to do a lot of stuff. If you want to be streaming, you want to have a life, you have a job. Schedule. Get the app on your phone. It probably already has it. Plan out your day hour to hour if you have to. If you're going to the gym, you probably already got a schedule because the gym routine's crazy. You probably got a schedule for eating already if
Oh
you're
yeah,
dieting, if you're working out, if you're trying to hit that weight class. Throw in the rest of your schedule. Be like, all right, at this time, I need to make a video. I'm streaming at 10 o'clock p.m. Nothing else is stopping you. Get that stream at 10 p.m. Don't make excuses. Take your phone, throw it across. Literally, well, if you have a case on it, literally throw it across the room. If you have to get up off your chair to get that phone, you're not getting it. You're slide it across the carpet. It's a great tactic. Get it out of there. Put it on silent. Slide it across the room. Focus on what you're doing. It's a great way to get that content out there.
yeah. I'm really spread thin. I got a full time job. I'm a co-owner at not really a co-owner. I'm a partner in the business, the family business, and I'm going to be taking it over.
Nice.
But if streaming pops off, I don't know about that, but I'm really hoping streaming goes well. I do like the family business. I'm 19. I own my own house, so I'm kind of really spread thin on what I'm doing. I got a full time job. I got powerlifting. I food prep on the weekends. I'm on a high protein diet. Right now, I'm not on a cut, so I can have cheat days now. So
Hit me
um,
up for the food too. If you want some help with the meal plan, if you're like, yo, I'm sick of whatever, like I need more ideas, hit me up. I got you.
oh hell yeah, I'll definitely do that because I eat the same stuff every day.
Yeah,
But it's
it sucks.
I have a high protein diet. I eat 250 grams of protein, but I have so much fiber and stuff that goes into it. It really flushes out, and I drink a gallon of water a day. So it can really flush it out. I've done a lot of research into dieting. I've looked at a lot of power lifters too, what they've ate, and just like if you have such a high protein diet, you can't have that much protein. You got to have something that flushes it out. You got to have a lot of water. You got to have a lot of fiber. So I eat prunes and I eat a lot of broccoli. I drink a gallon of water. But high fiber, high protein is what I really focus on. Especially when this is kind of like my maintaining. I cut down to 210. I'm in the 220 weight class. I'm probably around 225 right now, maintenance weight. So like if I really need to get in the shape, all I have to do is focus on my diet real hard for about 2 weeks, and I'm top of my 220 class. But next year, I'm actually going to do the 75 hard in March. To start out next year, I'm going to cut down to 200, no, 199 because I used to weigh 330 pounds, so I've cut down a lot of weight. So now
Good
I'm
for you.
going to I want to cut down to 199 and then bulk to 220 because a lot of people, if you look at wrestlers or other powerlifters, they cut down to their weight class, which I think is the dumbest thing you could do, in my personal opinion, because you're going to be weak coming into that tournament or that meet. You're going to be weak. You're not going to perform as good. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be tired. You're not going to be as energetic. But if you're bulking up to your meet, you came down to 199, you have 20 pounds to work with. you're bulking, you put on pure muscle, you're
Makes
going to
sense.
be so energetic, you're going to be so pumped that you're going to be back at your weight. You're going to feel better, your muscles are going to feel better. And I don't understand it. I mean, I can kind of understand it, but like you're limiting what you can do and like you're slowing down your process and then you have to work back up. I said, I mean, to each their own. But like me personally, I'd rather feel good weeks coming up to the meet. I don't want to go into the weigh in and be like, I feel like crap. I have not ate. I have not drank anything. It sucks. And like if you go even look at bodybuilders, if you see their walk-ins, they don't talk to anybody. If they talk to anybody, they're throwing up because of how sick they feel. If you look at them,
True.
they look dead in the face. They've not drank water in like 3 days. It's it's brutal. And to me personally, I feel great going in the meets, and I'm actually starting my powerlifting team. I've been training a guy, and I've had a couple people interested. I got a home gym. I'm actually going tonight and picking up some more bumper plates. I'm gonna be starting my own home gym. I'm just going to start my powerlifting team, and hopefully in March 16th or March 18th next year, whenever the Indiana State Championship comes around, hopefully we can take home the dub.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, it was a great podcast. We talked on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Uh, we'll definitely be chatting more in the future. Definitely hit me up for any of the groups that you end up, partnering with, and I can help you out and help them out as well. We've been chatting for a while ourselves,
Oh
so
yeah.
it's cool to hook back up with you. I think it's the first time we met face to face,
Oh yeah.
virtually.
I haven't went.
So thank
I
you.
haven't done. I don't really. I haven't shown my face. I really wait till I was out of high school, because a lot of people would dox
Respectable.
and people know who you are. Contact your school, get you in trouble. With football, couldn't really have that around. So once I was out of school, I'm like, okay, I can open up now. But I really appreciate you having you on. Uh, I didn't think we were going to go over this much, but honestly, this has probably been one of the better podcasts that I've done so far. So I really appreciate
Really
having
appreciate
you
that.
on. Is there any socials you want to plug to anybody to find you anywhere? Instagram, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah, for gaming, the gaming chef everywhere. And cars, if you're into that, on YouTube, cooking cars. Instagram's the racing chef. And I mean that's most of it. So yeah, food, cars, gaming. It's most of what I do. Thanks again for having me on, man. I'll be casting a lot, so definitely hit up. I don't know if I'm going Twitch or YouTube yet. I think I'm gonna kind of do both. Put it up to the players whether they want permanent VODs or if they want a larger community. Up to them. So that's where I'll be. So definitely check them both out. Thank you, man, and definitely catch you on the next venture we have together.
Sounds good. I appreciate everybody coming on. I will be doing these. These are really hitting well. I don't know if you guys are liking as much. If you do, leave a comment, leave a rating. That's the best thing you can do for a podcast is leave a rating. Show me that you guys love it. Give me feedback. I have my Discord. You can hit me up on Twitter. It's Real Blue Star Gaming on everything besides Twitter, because apparently Real Blue Star Gaming is too long. So it's underscore Real Blue Star underscore. You can find me there. But give me feedback. Tell me what you guys want to see. Tell me who you want on here. That's another big thing. Tell me who you guys want to see and what you guys want more of. But I appreciate having you on, man. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Keep on cooking.